Hello, everyone. What's going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome to episode 82 of the TNT podcast, featuring not the TNT crew.
Yeah, more like...
As we are recording this, Freeman is out for his birthday. It's happy birthday to Freeman. It's his birthday today.
Yeah, birthday.
And we're going to respond by spending the whole time at the end of the podcast talking about things that he can't listen to because he'll be spoiled. Because I don't think...
if he caught up.
Because he's not caught up on Demon Slayer or Stranger Things, right?
No, nor is our special guest Aiden.
Nor am I. I'm not caught up at all.
So on my left...
All right, because instead of the right, it's just Tyler.
And special guest on my right,
Aiden. Woo.
Yeah, we got Aiden back for this one to help us. We got a very quick podcast, partially because Freeman didn't go through and pull tons of Weeb news, but also because Freeman's going to get on after he gets home from his birthday dinner, and we're going to play Monster Hunter with him. So
yes,
we don't want to take too long.
Monster Hunter. Oh, I probably just blew up audio levels.
No, it wasn't actually that bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
But yeah, we got a few very spicy news stories that we're going to blow through, including one that I surprised Tyler with just now. That it was announced, I believe it came out today that I saw it. Cyberpunk 2077, the most anticipated game in Tyler's entire lifetime.
I think this is anybody's entire lifetime.
That's fair. No, I think we're all pretty.
This is my reason
right.
for living.
Okay, here we go.
We know.
Yeah,
so
once it's done. Just short drop, sudden stop. I get it.
Mic drop, walk away.
Cyberpunk 2078, though.
No, it's okay, because Tyler, see, the thing is, though, like, you can only beat the game in about, like, 100 hours, probably, but it's going to be like The Witcher 3 and have a tail of, like, a year and a half with those really good expansion packs that you're going to have to wait.
I know, and then once those are done, I'm finished, like, I am done. My life is complete.
And then Witcher 4, baby!
Yo, and then Witcher 4.
CD Projekt knows, Tyler.
No.
They're gonna keep you on life support.
Between The Witcher and Cyberpunk, it's life support.
But anyway, so as a nice companion piece to the actual game, they just announced today. I'm looking at an article on PC Gamer. But apparently there is going to be a 200-page hardcover lore book called World of Cyberpunk. And for a lore person like Tyler, this sounds like the greatest thing to come out besides the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it.
I already did.
I
snap bought it when I found out.
It's on Amazon. Actually,
I always have a problem with like buying things like that far out.
I mean, I haven't pre-ordered the game yet, and I know I'm gonna get
Release date December 31st.
That's a lie.
Not.
If you look, if you're on Amazon, if you look at the
Lies
top,
and slander. It's like what, April
21st. Yep.
It's like is it the same day that the game comes out?
Isn't the game in May or something? No, it might actually be the same day, or maybe it's slightly later. I don't remember what the release date of the game is already. I just know it's in December.
It doesn't matter.
For some reason,
the point is that it's coming.
For some reason, Amazon's website
April
is
16th. Okay.
Okay.
So it comes out. It actually comes out like about a week after the game release.
You know why? There's probably things that spoil it in here, or things that are big, important details that you're supposed to learn in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Funny enough, all of Amazon's programming says December 31st, but then the text is like, no, it's actually the 21st of April.
Yeah,
but yeah, you can pre-order it for $20 on Kindle, but why would you do that when, I mean, I love my Kindle, and I would get the hardcover if I was going to get this thing.
I want that sexy art IRL.
Also,
that is one thing I did want, right? Because I read through the source material for the original tabletop
game, yeah.
And I was like, man, like there's like no supplemental.
Dude, this looks like it's going to have absolutely everything.
I know, yo, I'm really.
This is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think
did you guys ever look at the original source material?
I have not.
I have been, because it is kind of what I wanted to base my D&D campaign off of.
That's great.
So that's why I'm pulling in for inspiration.
Now, Tyler, I will say I don't know how much art is actually going to be in this. There's going to definitely be a bunch, but there is also the art book that comes with the collector's edition that is not the same book.
Right.
So.
Well, no. Even if this is just lore.
No, that's still amazing. I know.
I'm actually like more than okay with it.
Yeah.
Because like, I have a problem.
Oh my god.
Nah, it ain't a problem. You're fine.
I mean, Tyler, you don't have enough of a problem that you ordered the what's it called? Collector's edition.
Yeah, I couldn't justify it. I honestly couldn't justify it enough.
I honestly am debating whether or not to get the Xbox or PS4.
Isn't it already gone?
Edition. Well, if I can get my hands on one, I probably won't be able to.
I thought they're both gone already.
I'm calling you out on the middle of the air here. Didn't you
That's fine. Call me out.
You
yes, I did.
Me.
Yes,
I did. PS4.
I admit it.
What the hell? And now you're like, oh,
but you know, I am. You know, I wasn't being serious. You should have known I wasn't being serious.
You know, I wasn't.
Because I am just as vulnerable to rampant consumerism as you are.
I would.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not sure if you're gonna find it anywhere, Aiden, because on Amazon at least, every collector's edition is unavailable.
Oh, that's upsetting.
They are all currently unavailable, which means they're gone.
That doesn't surprise me.
I mean, we talked about this.
I missed my ship.
Yeah.
But I want to believe. Fingers crossed. I can only hope.
I mean, who knows? But
if I could have it, out of every game that has ever been released in the lifespan that has been me, this is the only game where I've actually considered getting the collector's edition.
I'll say that I was into getting collector's editions when I was younger, stopped, and I would go back to considering it for this game because I just want to give CD Projekt money. I mean, when I buy this, it's going to be through GOG, not Steam or anything for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I already pre-ordered the PC version through GOG.
Apparently a third, so this isn't another news story, but apparently a third of PC pre-orders have been through GOG, which is pretty sick. Good. Which, considering how much Steam runs the marketplace...
Right.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a significant portion of people.
Considering
when it came out, it was the top seller on Steam for like a week.
Yeah.
As a game that wasn't
the pre-order
for like 9 months.
Hey, here's the pre-order with no special pre-order bonuses or anything. I don't think. Actually, let me check. I don't remember if there were any pre-order bonuses. I mean, I'm sure they still exist, but
yeah, I don't think. I mean, CD Projekt Red isn't exactly known for their pre-order bonuses, so I'm not really sure.
No, it looks like you get a source book, wallpapers, art booklet, and game soundtrack, but you probably get that for buying the game.
That's just that's standard with all of their stuff.
Yeah, so there is no pre-order bonus. It's just get the game. That's amazing. That's fantastic.
It is. I mean, like. I think this is the ray of hope in the AAA gaming industry, where it's like, I mean, it's just such an amazing show of good faith and goodwill when, like, we're not giving you pre-order bonuses, we're just out here to give you a good video game.
Yeah.
And people reward that with their money.
Yeah.
That's how this works.
Yeah.
I mean, it also helps that this looks...
No, you're not, but...
Okay.
No, you should.
They're not.
No, I mean, this is a game that a lot of people are excited for, and CD Projekt has a good track record. Like, I didn't play Witcher 1 and 2, but they're supposed to be pretty darn good, and 3 is obviously top 10 all-time for me. Certainly top 5 in the last 10 years for me. And I think for all of us. But,
oh, yeah.
like, Witcher 3's... Yeah, no, I would if I had it on... I bought it twice. I bought it on PC, and then I bought it on Xbox to try to get Val to play it, and that didn't work. But still, I didn't mind that I bought it.
Yeah. I mean, it's something like I'm not trying to boost them, or like I'm not trying to signal boost or be like, oh, they're so virtuous and we need to support them kind of thing. It's just like the experience of The Witcher 3 was it was so riveting. It was just a quality video game that I didn't feel bad about purchasing 3 times over.
Yeah. No, and
like
CD
it is what it is.
CD Projekt's definitely not perfect. I don't think any big company is, but they GOG is a pretty fantastic store. I haven't used their new Galaxy 2.0 beta yet, but because it's a closed beta, but that seems like the launcher to end all launchers because it links all your launchers together.
Yeah, that Netflix though.
Their store is really good.
Epic Store. Are you hearing this?
Look, we could talk about Epic, but like, we've been skipping a lot. There's been a lot of Shenmue news. I think we talked about it a little, but like, we're not getting into all of it.
How have we not talked about this?
Because who cares? Like, because none of us give a shit about
care.
Shenmue.
You know why?
Why?
No, because it's funny. No, because all my friends care about Shenmue.
Oh fuck, none of us do though. So okay, here's a question, Tyler.
Damn.
So how many friends of yours backed Shenmue? Like, did any of them actually back it, or they care?
3 or 4.
Okay, how many of them did it on PC?
I honestly can't remember. They're all in Arizona, and I haven't followed up with them.
Are any of them getting refunds? Do you know?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
So they probably all got it on console.
Yeah, they probably did. I should go ask them, because because they were back, and we're talking a hot minute ago, when the game first backed it, or first was taking backings, and they're like, oh, they like hot buttoned it. I was like, you guys are idiots. Because like these are the same friends I went to school with for game design. I'm like, y'all know, like, you guys have seen this happen all the time. They're like, oh no, it's gonna be fine. It's Shenmue, it's different. I'm like, okay.
Nah, it's actually worse than it's ever been.
Yeah, this is it's pretty egregious. Shenmue 3.
There's a lot of stories, like the whole Epic store.
Context,
yeah.
Let's.
No, I don't
break
want
it. No, you don't want to?
I don't care. Like, you know what? Honestly, so the only reason I know about it is because one of my podcasts, they talk about gaming news, and they talked about Shenmue a little bit, multiple weeks, and they made the comment over and over about how, like, Yakuza 1 came out 4 years after Shenmue 1 or 2, I forget which, and there's been like 15 plus Yakuza games since Yakuza 2, and Yakuza is just such a better series in every way than Shenmue. Like, you only care about Shenmue if you care about the story, and I don't even know the story, and I don't care at all. And I love Yakuza, so it's like, why would I care about this game?
Fair.
I mean, I feel like it's a relevant topic. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been crowdfunded to the tune of $6 million.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
because a lot of gamers played back then. That was the Dreamcast big boy.
Yeah. I mean, we all know how the Dreamcast turned out, don't we?
I think it's also one of those
like
old
Dream
names that just...
trash.
Damn. I think it's just one of those old names that carries a lot more weight than it kind of deserves these days, and like...
The game didn't age well.
No, not at all. Oh my god.
And even the new... have you seen the trailer for Shenmue 3?
No, but I heard it looks awful.
It looks like a PlayStation 2 game.
Oh
it looks like a Dreamcast game.
Oh my
god.
it's
just... They didn't carry... They didn't innovate. They didn't advance the series. And the creator... I can't... his name escapes me at the moment. But they're now saying, like, oh, this isn't even the last Shenmue now.
Well, when Shenmue 1 came
like,
out,
so,
wasn't he like it's part 1 of 16 or something crazy like that?
Something crazy like that. But it's like, I mean, the whole point that people were promised, like, this is going to be the end of Shenmue. We're going to tie up all the loose ends.
I hope it is, because if they try to kickstart another Shenmue, it's not going to fucking happen.
No, it's not.
But they don't even care. Like, I mean, this is a case of more than anything else, like, hey, we just did a Kickstarter to say, hey, look, people want this, so why don't you give us some real publishing money instead of this bullshit backer money?
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, I mean, for those at home,
certainly that's a possibility with all of the money that they've been getting from, like,
oh yeah, like Epic, Sony, all these companies have get Deep Silver publishing it now, like. Anyway,
that's what happens when you crowdfund games. And
speaking of, Japanese game development, there we go. Japan. Even though we're not doing the Weeb shit this week. So the very long rumored, Switch Mini or Switch Lite. Sorry, Switch Lite. I think it is. Is it Switch Lite or Switch Mini?
Yep.
Switch Mini.
Switch
sorry.
Lite.
No, God damn it, every link says the different thing. The Switch Lite,
it's a Switch Lite.
Yeah. I'm literally on tomsguide.com, and it says, the tab says Switch Mini, the title says Switch Lite, and the biggest box under the text says Switch Mini. Fucking awful. Anyway, the Switch Lite. For $200, here's a Switch that has an actual D-pad instead of shitty buttons, doesn't have removable Joy-Cons, and doesn't dock to anything, and has a slightly longer battery life, and is smaller. Honestly, this sounds like exactly like what people wanted.
Yeah.
I beg to differ.
I think
we needed a Switch XL.
So here's the thing. I think there will be one of those, and I would actually consider getting one of those if it ever comes out. But I think this is perfect for the parents who said, my kid wants to play with the Switch, but I don't want them to lose the Joy-Cons or something. I want to give them a cheaper console that has more battery life. They don't have to like mess with the plugging it into the TV dock or anything. But they can still play the same games that are on the TV in most cases.
Yeah. I mean, I completely understand their reasoning behind this, right?
Yeah.
Because Nintendo is a Japanese company. Their main audience is going to be Japan.
Yeah, and they don't have consoles.
Like, Japan is going to eat this up. This is going to be fantastic in Japan. Western markets, I don't think are going to receive this as well.
I think you only buy this if you have a younger kid who you don't trust with the full Switch.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be geared towards the younger children in Western markets.
You mean also Eastern? I was going to say, because I think you and I were just talking about the Vita recently.
Yes.
And how well it did in Japan compared to...
It's the only reason it exists.
Yeah, I think it's gonna blow up there. I think this is
gonna
blow up there.
This is gonna be this was the right move for Nintendo for the Eastern markets. And if we do see that Switch XL, that's gonna be the Western market when that.
Like I said, I would consider an XL that has like a better D-pad, and because I've been thinking about getting a Switch because there's a lot of indie games I'd prefer to play that way. But I wouldn't, and I think I could even find some games on there like Val wouldn't mind playing with something a little more easy to handle and look at than like a full-on Xbox or something. But I want something with a little more power if I can get it.
Absolutely. Especially now that we're starting to see those higher fidelity games coming out, like they announced The Witcher 3 for the Switch and stuff like that. Like,
and doesn't it run at like 480p?
It's something ridiculous.
They have to.
So like if you're gonna start throwing stuff like that on the Switch, you're eventually going to need to come out with that Switch Plus, that Switch XL, the new Switch.
I mean, imagine how good like a
3DS terminology that they did.
Imagine how good like the next Mario or something would look on that, like with those.
Oh, absolutely.
The good art design and not a terrible resolution.
And I also think with this, they removed a lot of features that just nobody uses really. Like the gyroscopes for the Joy-Cons, which have become a significant problem, I might add, for certain people. That left Joy-Con.
I think the other day I saw a
gyroscope wander.
I think the same day this was announced, I saw near the top of Reddit a post that was like, Nintendo needs to fucking address how shitty Joy-Cons are right now.
Yeah,
because this is ridiculous.
I mean, all the Gen 1 Switches are getting fucked right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some people who are like, hey, I've had my Switch, it's not doing so great right now. This looks like a little better, and I still want to play those games. Maybe some people like that also pick this up if they go, I don't really dock this thing at all.
Oh yeah, and there are certainly people that don't.
And the best part
I am one of those people that I always have my Switch docked. I very rarely use it remotely.
You know what else this is coming out in time for? Pokemon, gotta catch them all.
My hype has died.
Look, I fully agree, but considering all this had to be planned out like 2 years ago,
I'm just mad.
I'm not even here. We're not even trying to talk about Pokemon. There was another article I linked to. I wanted to talk about. There was an interview with GameFreak that someone translated on Reddit that's like shitty, but we don't. I mean, we can get into it a little bit, I guess. We can kind of transition into that. But yeah, so apparently someone on Reddit translated an interview with like the head of GameFreak or something. And apparently, according to the translation, which was updated later, I never even saw the Reddit post, but apparently Game Freak has now said, hey, you know how we made those models for,
Oh yeah.
what was it, Black and White was the last one? Or X
You
and
mean
Y? X and Y?
Yeah.
You know how we made the models for X and Y forward compatible by making them so good? Well, it turns out when we tried to get them onto the Switch, it didn't work. So we have to get all the we have to remake the models and then bring the animations over on top of them.
But why? But
It's
why?
like,
Explain to me why. How? I don't I don't believe it.
it's the double down.
Honestly, don't believe it.
I mean, honestly, Pokemon is such a major franchise. If they can't find enough 3D artists to to transfer and animate like only 1,000 models.
So apparently
Come on.
only half of Game Freak is working on this game right now. About
Well, I
80
mean-
people, apparently.
What?
Whoa! Wait, are you telling me there's
That's what
only
my podcast said.
160 people at Game Freak?
Well, apparently half of the developers, at least, are working on something called Towns? I don't know.
See, now that
I feel
they're
like I've
showing
heard
their-
of that.
I'm echoing Freeman and saying that every week we're just learning that how Game Freak is just a shitty game developer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this is bad. This is bad.
Yes.
I feel like our trust is being betrayed here, and
Right.
like they're not going into why, why do they have to go back and redo all of these models?
All right, I am on the Reddit post now. I found a link to it. Highlights from the... Okay, so this is from the Reddit post. Highlights from the article. With the shift to Switch, the amount of time needed to make the graphics more beautiful and the animations more lively has increased. Cue the meme of the dog wiggling a little bit. Have you guys seen that? The GIF? Oh my god, it's just a GIF of like a Pokemon just wiggling a little bit from footage from the trailer or something. Another aspect of this fact that the Pokemon series reached over 1,000 Pokemon, including form changes. Because of this, apart from the graphics, balancing for new Pokemon with new abilities become very hard. They keep saying balancing.
What balancing?
Who cares?
When has Pokemon been balanced?
0 out of 10. This is the reason behind the decision this time, and they have judged that it will be hard for all Pokemon to appear in any title going forward. This decision had to be made sooner or later. Even in Pokemon Sun and Moon, bringing in every Pokemon was something barely manageable. With Sword and Shield and the need to redo the models, they had to make the decision. Someone says that despite this, the wild areas and story will have quite a bit of content to make up for it. Regarding whether Pokemon may be added in future updates, this is uncertain. Even if not in Pokemon Sword and Shield, Game Freak plans on making those Pokemon shine in future titles going forward via home. They do not want the players past Pokemon to feel worthless too late. Inspecting the option of reusing Pokemon receiving new graphics through Sword Shield in titles going forward. With the inclusion of gimmicks like Mega Evolution and Dynamax that affect all Pokemon, this would mean that even more graphics production and balancing, so making it happen would be hard balancing again. It's not about adding more Pokemon as they receive graphical upgrades, but rather a change towards bringing Pokemon in from Pokemon Home that fit the game. The reason behind the name Pokemon Home is that it is a place to return to. Bringing Pokemon out to games forward, it's like bringing that on a trip. In terms of the feelings of the Pokemon, says Masuda, it's like them saying this region is cold, so I'll be staying at home. Game Freak are thinking of adding some gameplay elements to Pokemon Home. No shit. Masada has the concept of bringing Pokemon out to even spin-off titles from Pokemon Home in mind, and this will be considered in the future as well. Wow. That's just...
Okay.
Yo, I've
So-
waited my entire life for a home console game like this kind of Pokemon game. And you're just gonna give me weak ass excuses like this.
Dude, we're going to add gameplay to Pokemon Home because we went, oh shit, we can't bring all the Pokemon forward, and we're never going to back down on this. Okay, so as much as I don't think we should give Game Freak much slack, I do feel bad for Game Freak because I feel like literally any other company or property could afford to say we are going to delay this to make this work. But Game Freak has to tie into so many things with Pokemon that they physically have to... They have to stick to their guns, right? How do they back down?
I mean, they put more people on the team.
That
I
money.
have no
But money,
sympathy
though.
for Game Freak.
What do you mean, but money?
money?
But money,
They
though.
literally have infinite
I
money.
look. I agree.
I have prepared for this. I am looking at. Granted, this is a Wikipedia article. I haven't checked the sources on this. I don't know how accurate this
Aiden,
is.
I don't.
This is list
Oh, no.
of highest grossing media franchises. Number 1, Pokemon, followed by Hello Kitty, Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse and Friends, and then Star Wars.
According to the other podcasts I listen to, or what they said, Game Freak has less people working on it than a given Assassin's Creed video game.
Well,
That's what I'm
you
saying.
know what? That's probably their issue.
You're not wrong, but they can't fix that in time.
Also, Assassin's
it's
Creed
too
is
late.
like 1,000 people working on
It's
this.
Yeah,
too
you're right.
late. Obviously, it's too late now. But what? But like, why? Like this is your flagship title.
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
how many? Okay, every
It's
time
coming
this
to a
came up,
home
Friedman was like, "Yeah, everyone's known for years that Game Freak was shit about making their new games and having to like cheat the system to make things work, but they were never pushed until now to get on the next get on a full console."
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe that's an issue because like every single Pokemon game has been a handheld game, which isn't
But the Switch
graphically
is just
demanding.
practically a handheld.
It's-
And doesn't so
Well,
okay,
yeah,
so who made
But that's not what people are expecting from this game, right?
So here's a question. Who made Coliseum and Stadium and all those? Is that also Game Freak?
No.
Oh, I have no idea.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh, also, I don't know if you guys saw these on Reddit over the last few days, but after the last Game Freak article or just the last few days, people have been like, "Hey, here's this Chinese Pokemon knockoff game with better animations than were in the trailer."
Well, shit. Oh no, Hal Laboratory, a good
Okay.
game, a good studio.
Oh my god, I can't believe you guys haven't seen those memes. Like, someone showed off, like, Ho-Oh has real flying around animations in battle in this Chinese knockoff, or Blastoise uses his water cannons instead of just water shooting out of nothing.
But I just want to.
Yeah.
I just want to know. I just want to know why they think, like why? Just why?
I don't.
So apparently, the developer for Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness were both Genius Sonority, which I don't even know who they are or what they've
no
done.
idea. They've made
their last
Pokemon
game
games.
was
They
Pokemon Shuffle.
Yeah, they made
They
Pokemon
did Pokemon
side
Shuffle
games.
in 2015,
Oh my god.
and Coliseum and Gale of Darkness.
You know, it'd be
and
extra
Pokemon Battle
hilarious
Revolution.
if there was a new like stadium level game where it's like a 3D battler thing, and they have all the Pokemon in it and have Pokemon Home connectivity. Could you imagine how fast that would become the mainline series for most people?
But I just want to know why, like, just everything. Still.
It feels like gross mismanagement, honestly. Because
Also,
there's
why
Yes.
just one region? Why are we only getting one region?
There's only ever been one region since Gold and Silver, right?
Gold and Silver was the only game to have multiple regions.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, too fucking bad. Clearly that was a lot of work for them, and they're like, just kidding. We're never doing that again.
Fucking hate them.
Play Heart Gold and Soul Silver,
mean-
Tyler. Oh, wait,
Hey,
they're
man,
millions of
both-
dollars.
So Silver and Gold were arguably the best games that they came out.
Why do you think I'm playing Heart Gold on my 3DS right now? I mean, I've taken a break really hard because, man, it's annoying to go
'Cause it's
fight the
grind.
Elite Four.
Yeah.
I will say it was a very cool moment the other day. I grinded up my Dragonair into my first Dragonite I've ever actually owned in a Pokemon game. That was a cool moment. I mean, I trained it up to level 50 and then dumped 5 rare candies on it one shot, but hey, I still
Hey, that's
I still
fine,
did it.
whatever.
I still did it.
If it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid.
Now I just got to figure out my team because I was going to have Charizard on it because I thought it was like yellow I remembered it was like yellow where you get like a starter or all the starters shortly after you go to Kanto, but then Freeman's like, nah, you got to talk to Oak after beating Ash. And I'm like, well, fuck me. I guess I'm not running Charmander on my team. Luckily, I caught a Growlithe, so maybe I'll do the Arcanine route. Go like Gen 1 rival.
Hell yeah. Arcanine is basically a legendary Pokemon.
He's certainly fucking easier to get than the goddamn 2 beasts that run around like assholes all the fucking time.
Damn.
Jesus, they're annoying. I don't
Wh-
how
Which ones are those?
Entei and Raikou.
Entei Raikou, and then what's the third one?
Suicune has its own thing in Heart. I don't remember if it was in the original.
Crystal.
Yeah, it's a crystal thing where Suicune you actually meet and like at key points in the game.
Yeah.
So he doesn't run
You can
around like an
actually
asshole.
get him.
Yeah, there's like a set encounter with Suicune, whereas the other two just run around and do whatever the fuck they want all the time.
I have a shiny Suicune. Me.
Wow.
I'm the coolest.
Speaking of the coolest, oh, I found it. I found the perfect transition for this awful, awful story.
Oh, no.
This is the worst thing ever. So, Final Fantasy XIV is huge right now. Like, with WoW kind of lagging a little bit, I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy XIV, with its also super recently released massive expansion, is crushing it right now. So, I will finally link you guys this article so you can read it while I describe it. So, there has been a promotion recently for special things like pre-ordering different things in the game. Like I think if you pre-order the game, there was like some fat chocobo that you could earn, like a regular fat chocobo you could ride around on, or stop Aiden. Or if you like pre-ordered bought a month of Final Fantasy on Amazon in certain countries, you could get like a white fat chocobo, and now it's a black fat chocobo. And in most countries, it's like an Amazon thing. But in China, it's a promotion with KFC. And the promotion, I don't know if you guys looked at the article yet.
I'm here.
Okay, so the promotion in China is you go into a KFC and you say you want to do the promotion, and they say, okay, well, we're going to give you the family deal for 4, and you have to eat the entire thing in front of us.
What the?
And we'll give you 1 code for this fat chocobo.
Oh my God.
So here's the thing. Here is what is in the the family deal for 4. 1 double chicken burger, 1 vegan mushroom burger, 1 5-piece nuggets, 2 original recipe chicken, 1 2-piece New Orleans chicken wings.
New Orleans.
Yeah. 1 Old Beijing spicy duck roll, 2 large Pepsis, and 2 large peach oolong teas. That's per person in the family 4-pack. So you have to eat 4 times that much food in one sitting to get 1 code for this fat chocobo.
What the fuck?
Oh dear God.
Yo, and they say America's bad. What is this?
Dude,
I feel like this
Explain
should
this
be.
to me.
I
feel
feel like
this should be a war crime.
I feel like fucking this is there just because it's the Chinese government saying, no, you will not get this fat black chocobo.
Nah, you know what? This is on some bullshit. You
This
know?
is this is
God.
China doing social currency shit where they're like, hey, we need to check that. We need to track down who are the dedicated psychos, and whoever places these massive orders for KFC, fuck you. You're on a list somewhere.
How many social points do you think this is worth?
Damn.
So- so the best
social
part of this-
currency's
the
a real
be-
thing in China.
So the best part of this
Yeah.
article is when you scroll down and look at the pictures from Chinese Final Fantasy players who shared their stories in like MMO talk. Like I cheated. I said I would solo it, but I was wiped after eating a roll of chicken and 2 wings.
Damn.
Oh God.
Our team was wiped. We failed to pull the roll and burger apart during phase 2. MT pulled 2 burgers. Just leave the Coke alone. Focus on the chicken.
Focus on the chicken.
Here's the worst one. I went to the toilet and they took away my meal and gave me a fresh one and told me to start over.
Damn.
Oh no.
So you can't even go like get a little out of your system and start again.
Oh my God. This is egregious to me. I'm not okay with this.
Apparently, some players have done it, and actually, some people even soloed it.
Oh God.
That's just the drinks alone. That's 8 giant Pepsis and 8 giant teas. How do you physically fit all of that liquid in your body, much less all the food?
That's dirty.
I I wanted to share this so bad when I heard about this.
That's
It's so fucking great.
Oh,
Oh my god.
no. Oh no.
How many of those people are on like life support right now
Too many.
for their black fat chocobo? They're like,
I
you want this
mean,
fat chocobo? Prove it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I would.
Oh,
I kind
God.
of want a fat black chocolate too.
Maybe it'll
I'm not
come.
gonna-
I already,
We-
I already got one. All right, in Final Fantasy VII.
We.
I did so much inbreeding to get that thing.
No, we already have cactars in
True story.
Isn't cactar a Final Fantasy thing or no?
Yeah, cactars are.
Yeah, we already have that in Monster Hunter. Maybe someday Palico can turn into a fat chocobo.
Listen, as much as I like.
Oh,
KFC,
you're not aware yet.
Oh
You
no!
leaked him.
Shit! No,
Damn.
I spoke
Yo,
too
as much as
soon.
I like KFC. I would never do some shit like this.
Hell no! I don't even like KFC much anymore.
Nah, this. I don't know who approved this. Like
The
you have to
Colonel.
eat.
Duh.
I mean, I just read a headline the other day on Reddit. It was like, today I learned that the Colonel was actually super critical of KFCs, and he'd like go in and say, this food is terrible. It's like, yeah, you can see the Colonel being on board with this. Like, fuck you. You like my food? Die now.
Die, yeah. Over a fat. Like this is absolutely stupid. Like this isn't even like a real prize, right? You know, it's like, oh, get this, you get your picture on the wall.
Nah, dude.
Right,
Fat
you get a
chocobo.
T-shirt, maybe like a little ad space on the website, maybe. No, you're getting a chocobo.
Fat chocobo.
You're getting
Tyler, it's a fat chocobo.
Everybody who does this gets exactly what they deserve. All right,
You're
you want
correct.
chicken, you are what you eat. You're gonna become a fat chicken.
You know what really sucks? Can you imagine how many of the
Literally.
people aren't actually doing this because they want to? They're doing this because they're gold farmers. They're like They're like making accounts to sell on
100%.
eBay, and they're like, I gotta go eat fucking KFC today
You know
for the
what?
fat chocobo.
I'm all right with this because if this is another Tide Pod challenge, so be it.
It's only in China, dude.
I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the face with this.
I mean, the cynical part of me feels like this is just another version of population control.
The Area 51 memes, yo, dude, it's ready. This is it. We don't need war. We just need dumbass memes.
Speaking of dumbass things, Aiden, talk about this video game only you and 5 other people.
Oh, Super Monkey Ball.
What are you talking
Banana
about?
Split
This game, Super Monkey Ball is great. Well, yeah, you could talk about it, but like, alright, so I never played this.
My
right?
first girlfriend was actually into Super Monkey Ball. Not gonna lie.
But Mike said it was bad, but I guess he had never played it.
I don't believe him. I don't believe him. Super Monkey Ball has always been great. Admittedly, I never played Banana Blitz because I didn't have a Wii. But I played. I
didn't play
played
the game.
I fucking love Super Monkey Ball. I love it. It's such a good game, and like it's just like that mindless kind of dumb fun game that it's like it doesn't require a lot except just super precise skills and just the determination of the gods.
Yeah.
But like I'm very excited that Super Monkey Ball is coming to the Switch in any form.
Still wish
and
it
I
was a
mean,
good game, but
it's just I'm hyped. This is good. There's nothing bad about this.
yeah, no, it's.
This
Don't want
seems
it to be
like
a new
also
Monkey
the
Ball game,
perfect
though.
kind of game for the Switch.
Yeah, it is. I hope they ease up on the motion controls. I don't want to see a lot of motion controls in this game because that
Spoiler,
Monkey-
you're gonna see a lot of motion
Yeah,
controls.
were
I know
were the
you-
motion
I know you
controls in the
will.
other games?
No.
no, because they
Oh.
were on well, I mean
Well,
this
the
one
Wii, I
did
guess,
for
probably.
me, but
Well,
like the first one was out on Switch, and I believe Super Monkey Ball 2 was also on this or not. Wow, Switch, GameCube. Sorry, my mistake. The first two were on GameCube, so they didn't have the motion control stuff. And I'm sure that's probably why this allegedly had negative reviews when it was out on the Wii, but I need another Super Monkey Ball in my
So
life.
I need another stupid monkey ball.
I got rid of my GameCube because I'm dumb and have no foresight. So
No one did at that age.
I know it's okay.
I got rid of
I-
my jungle green N64.
Oh.
Oh, how? All right, that's
Yeah.
unacceptable.
Dude, it's like I had no money. It was terrible. My dad's like, "Listen, you want this new thing? You're gonna have to get rid of your old shit." I'm like,
Wow.
"Fine."
Yikes.
Gently
You know what?
upsetting.
You know what? As a parent, I get it.
Mm,
I get it. I get
no,
it.
no,
'Cause
I get it,
he's
but I'm gonna
like,
put that shit in a box and save
Yeah.
it for later.
Yeah,
when I
you
can
say I
sell
got
for
rid of it, and then you surprise him
$500.
15 years later.
But yo, man, when all my friends are playing all the new hotness coming out, and they're like, "Tyler, you can't play new hotness." I'm like, "Yeah, I got no money,
What? Okay,
or I
so
gotta
he
wait
actually
till my
made you
birthday."
sell it, or he said I took it away
Yeah,
and sold it?
no. He made me sell it.
Wow. Okay, never mind then.
Damn.
The only time he checked, I do remember this though. He checked. He's like, I think with the PlayStation 2, before I got my PlayStation 2, he was like, uh, "Does it play the old games?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "All right."
Okay,
fine."
goodbye PlayStation 1.
Because he didn't want to.
That's-
Actually, I still have the PS1.
That's how I got a PS1 actually. Someone in my town was getting a PS2 and he's like, "I don't need this PS1 anymore. You want it?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then I got like 20 free games from it.
Value.
I only bought one game for my PS1 and I got like 20 games from other people who were like, "I don't want this game anymore."
Oh, look who joined the podcast.
Hell,
Did I already miss the
special-
Weeb shit, or?
Hello.
We didn't have
I'm
any.
not the podcast crasher this time.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm crashing my own podcast.
Yeah.
We didn't have any Weeb shit except for Super
That's
Monkey
a-
Ball, which we just finished.
That's not
I see
weird.
Demon Slayer sliding in at the end of the week.
Well, we were gonna talk about it because you wouldn't be spoiled, but now you're gonna get spoiled. So
so I got one thing for the Weeb shit, if you guys don't mind me.
sure,
Injecting.
interject.
Oh,
Sure,
please.
Coming in here.
coming in hot to the
throwing-
podcast.
It's time
Freeman.
for the
imme-
Weeb
Oh my
shit.
God.
Alright, so-
Oh wait! Before you say anything, Freeman. We already said it at the start of the podcast, but happy birthday.
Yeah. happy
oh, thank you,
birthday.
thank you.
Oh, happy birthday. Yeah, I didn't
From
know
all my
until
friends of
today.
the podcast and all of my loyal fans listening to it.
Wow, I feel
All right,
I
keep
feel
go-
a little just
Anyway,
hinted
real quick for the
higher
Weeb
there.
shit. So the new season's underway. I already had the shows I wanted to watch, but then my coworker tells me, "Hey man, when this show comes out next week, you should watch it because I read the light novel and it's great. It's like more edgy revenge story than Shield Hero is." I'm like, all right, you know
Whoa.
what? I like the edgy revenge story. Let's watch this. And then I saw that big YouTuber Digiro put out a 2-part series on why the first episode of this show was bad.
Oh boy.
If he has a 45-minute
Wee
video
woo.
talking about why something else is bad, this must be bad. So I watched the episode and I'm like, okay, the CG was absolute garbage, but the episode wasn't that bad. What's the deal here? It seemed like a fantasy show about a guy who gets lost in a dungeon. And then I went to the discussion thread. It's not a fantasy show. It's totally one of those you got reincarnated into another world shows. But the director decided, let's just cut out the whole part where we explain who all the characters are and the world is, or even discuss the fact that they used to all be a high school class who all got brought together to this other world.
So hold on. Is there any chance that this is coming up later on in the show and he's just doing it out of order?
No, because they started flashing back mid-episode to explain just enough that you can sort of get why he's there. And I understood it, but I go into discussion and everyone's like, they ruined it, they butchered it. And I asked my coworkers, like, yeah, it was really bad. Like the book is really good. So any normal weeb would do after they watched a terrible first episode, they would go out and buy the fucking light novel like I did. So I'm like halfway through it. And oh boy, I understand why people like this light novel. They did a really good job of setting up why this dude's on a fucking revenge path. But instead of doing that, they just jump in right at the start where he's already mad at the universe and just don't explain to you why he's mad.
Damn.
Anyway, this book's really good and I'm reading it, but I'm holding off on episode 2 until I read past where episode 2 picks up.
So before we go into week, since we're already going to end early and go play Monster Hunter, Freeman, do you have any input on any of what we talked about before you got on? We talked about. Did you hear about this World of Cyberpunk book?
No.
So there's a 200-page lore book coming out a week after the game does that Tyler is going to pre-order and Aiden already pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am legally. I need to.
Legally required to get
yeah.
this.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you have any interest in this, Freeman?
World of Cyberpunk, no, I understand Tyler's obsession and I get it. Definitely. So I know this is part of a larger series and I have no understanding of anything prior in the Cyberpunk series. But
I
that's
mean, is it really a series if it's just a
I'll say it's not. It's only just one
game
book.
like yeah.
well, it's about to be a series.
It's about
Yeah,
to be.
it's a series now. We're gonna get Cyberpunk 2078, 2079.
No. Let's just jump forward 100 years each time.
2 if Square Enix takes over.
Let's go to 2177.
Neo Tokyo shit.
You mean
Oh god,
Tokyo
2177.
you mean
Yeah.
Switch Lite?
Switch Lite. Yeah, no, I think it's great they're doing it. This is the same thing when they did the 2DS. It's just a like shittier, lower cost consoles that parents can get their kids at for Christmas or whatever. Like this is not going to impact normal Switch development. If anything, you're going to see games that that didn't. I think pretty much every game does handheld mode, but you're going to see more games focus on handheld mode without the Joy-Con gimmick going forward.
I also pointed this out, and it kind of played into. Did you hear about this GameFreak interview? This Reddit thing that got translated?
Supposedly translated, but yes.
Oh, because I read through the summary of the post summary that the person had. I found a link to the Reddit post and I read their summary out loud.
So how much did you guys talk about it already?
A fair bit about how awful it all sounds. I mean, you can see the most of the podcast on timestamps.
Yeah, it's oh man, 5 minutes of it. All right, anyway.
10 minutes. What are you talking about?
It's 5. Oh shit, I'm reading
do the math the right way.
Oh, double that. Oh, anyway, so you guys already talked about the translation that they had to redo the models.
Yes.
The problem is a lot of people are saying that when they were discussing models, they weren't talking about character models. They were talking about the game model, which may be
the rigging
translation of the game engine.
Oh.
Because here's the thing: everyone was bitching about how like they got the character models working for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, but that engine runs like absolute garbage because they just ported the 3DS engine over that already had trouble rendering Pokemon in battle, and then they tried to render Pokemon on screen like in the overworld, which fucked it all up. So they needed a new engine to do what they're trying to do on Switch. Like all graphical issues aside, whatever. If you look at how the big open field region works, they need to be able to render a lot of Pokemon on screen in more than just like 10 frames per second, like it boiled down to on Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So if they were talking about the engine, that interview makes way more sense. If they're talking about the actual character models, they're fucking idiots and I hate them. So it's like there's two sides of this coin and one of them is like not pretty.
Gotcha.
But what if both?
Jesus Christ.
Why have one when you could have both?
Just lands on the side there.
I feel like we're about to get that. Where they actually end
the
up
one in a
the
billion
entire thing.
chance.
The coin on the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, Super Monkey Ball looks pretty cool. There.
There, you caught up.
Man, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that was
all
the
that matters.
podcast.
Super Monkey Ball. We
So-
need more Super Monkey Ball.
I wanted to mention this when you popped in and immediately said bad CGI on that other show, Freeman, but I actually wanted to say show that has great CGI, Demon Slayer has actually been killing it on the CGI. Like it's nothing super overt, but
what they're doing.
they seem to know not to, like, they seem to be much better at motion with the fucking CGI. They don't look like poorly moving skeletons. They actually have some flow to them.
Do you want to know what the trick is?
What?
Instead of like most of the industry rendering it at 12 frames per second and then doubling it to go to 24, they did the opposite. They render it 48 and then cut it down to the 24 frames per second broadcast. That's why it looks smooth.
Revolutionary.
I know. Who would have thought that you could do this?
Who would have thought?
I'm gonna give a golf clap.
I mean, so Val and I caught up with Demon Slayer, and then the new episode came out on Saturday, and we watched that too. So we are fully caught up and live now with Demon Slayer, and Demon Slayer's real good. I've been having a lot of fun with it.
So real quick, I got to episode 5.
That's what you meant. I thought you meant Stranger Things 5. Fuck.
No. Actually, I'm on the same episode as both. But in Demon Slayer, you meet the guy in the opening who just looks really angry, and I'm sitting there like, oh man, I wonder what kind of voice they're gonna do for the dude who's always angry. And he opens his mouth, I'm like, oh, it's Bakugo.
Dude, that's what I said. I said exactly.
Character, but I did one of those like office look into the camera. Why am I not surprised moments? Kind of.
I
thing.
was
like,
so sure it was. I'm so glad. So you sure it actually is him?
I can tell in an instant. He has an iconic voice.
I was so sure that when I heard him, I'm like, yo, that's fucking Bakugo.
Like, I can't remember my life. He played a one-off villain in JoJo, and the second he opened his mouth, I'm like, it's Bakugo again.
I wish you would catch up, Freeman, because so Tyler understands this because I literally texted him this as we watched it on like Saturday or Friday. There is a scene. It's like episode 10 or 11. Tyler, you remember this when I messaged you, and I'm like, so that 3 seconds right there, I fucking hate this character. But this right here, this scene is my aesthetic. There is a scene that is everything I want out of any kind of action ever. And it was so fucking cool, and it comes from the worst character.
Yeah.
I was so heartbroken. Freeman, you could probably even guess.
So heartbroken.
You could probably even guess who it is just from watching the intro.
Is it the blonde dude or is it the dude with the chicken head?
It's the blonde dude.
Or pig head?
Chicken- you mean the
Okay.
I mean, Freeman,
I
you
figured
see
out
in the
it's gonna be
intro.
blonde guy. Forehead,
So you
sorry.
see in the intro, he does a lightning move.
Yeah.
So the first time he ever does an attack in the show, I was like, just rewind it and just let me watch that 50 times to purge what his actual character's like from my mind. Because holy shit, is it everything I want. Oh my god. But yeah, Demon Slayer's been
Yeah, I
really
would've caught
good.
up, but unfortunately, the Do You Love Your Mom and her 2-hit multi-target attack came out the same day, so I had to watch that. And then I finished Isekai Quartet.
Well, at least you can focus now, I guess.
Sort of. Apparently, there's this other show. This show. So Funimation has it. It's called. Is it Copcraft or Craft Cop? The point is, apparently it came out of nowhere. It's called Copcraft. Everyone really likes it. So I looked a little into it. It's the same author who did Full Metal Panic, which was one of my favorite shows back in high school. So I'm obligated to go check this out now and report back next week.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, are we actually going to weeks now?
Yeah, I was just kind of covering this
We're starting
Spider-Man and
loosely.
Stranger Things because we had multiple people doing all these. Stranger Things is also happening.
Yeah, Tim and I finished it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a couple more weeks just because my friends can only meet up Sundays to watch. We'll eventually get there.
Without
Never made it past
spoiling,
season one.
so I'm without spoiling anything. If everyone who's listening will recall, last week I was rather unhappy with this show.
Yes.
I will say they turned things around for sure. I do think if this show had tried to go for 13 episodes, it would be worse than season 2 was, because it seems like they recognized that season 2 went on way too long and lost it a lot in the middle. This is a much tighter story, and I think it actually is better than season 2 for it.
I know a lot of people really didn't like the whole 11 subplot, like moving away from like the core setting of the.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Especially since
That was the problem with
nothing
2.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Nothing
and I'm
came
saying
from
this is definitely way more.
Yes, this
Everything's
is much more like season 1. I think this is actually a decent evolution because season 1 kind of went slow and meandered because it was a lot more of a mystery. This there actually isn't as much of a mystery as early, so much as there's just a lot of different pieces moving at the same time, but they're still moving. There's not a lot of investigation kind of stuff happening. Whereas in the season 1 was a lot of like, I mean, how long did it take for like 11 to get introduced to everybody and everything and like figure out what's going on? Whereas in this one, things are moving a lot, which salvaged the season a lot for me. I like it in the end. I'm very sad that this story will likely continue, even though apparently they announced that it's going to be a very different going forward, probably like a time jump or something, or even different characters, hopefully. But
Legend of Korra, that's what they're gonna pull.
maybe I could see that. Tyler, tell me if you agree with this. I still think this show had more potential when it was a different story every season.
Yeah, I think
Even
so,
after
too.
this season being better than 2 and being good, I still think I would have preferred to have 2 other seasons of a totally different cast and mystery.
Yeah, I agree with that only because now I feel like it's gonna get stale and like I
Yeah.
don't know what they're gonna do with this now. Because if they drop off of their core like theme, that is basically holding its audience.
So they actually have a decent reason for the show being in the same place with the same cast again. They actually give a good reasoning for, hey, this is why there's more shit happening in this town. But after this, it goes so open-ended that I'm like, ugh.
So here's the magic thing about storytelling, and I learned this by taking a graduate level class on fairy tales when I wasn't supposed to my freshman year of college. So I'm an expert. But 3 is the magic number in storytelling. 1 sets up what you can expect. 2 is for repetition. 3 is for resolution, and that's the magic number. So if they tried to do it again for a 4th time without changing anything, it would actually be terrible.
So they're gonna change things, but I'm worried about how. They kind of set up a little bit at the end of how this story side continues, but then it's like, but then you're just reminding me of why I wish this was Stranger Things 2. Different story, you. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Overall, like I said, better than season 2. Nice, tight season. I think this was a good 8 episodes. I definitely turned around on it a little. I think there's way too much gross still, but that's just me. I don't do well with this kind of mind control shit, which is not a spoiler for anybody who watched the first few. Did anybody else besides me and Tyler see Spider-Man?
No,
I
I still
haven't
watch
seen
the
it.
first one.
I
Okay.
just don't. I don't care.
That's fair. Tyler, do you want to at least just give impressions?
I thought it was pretty good. They threw me for a loop. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The loop is pretty good.
Especially me, because I went in there and I was like, this is bullshit. And then Mysterio said something that I didn't like. And then I was like, oh, Marvel, you got me. Hey. And so I ended up liking it more than me initially going in there.
So I actually went in knowing a little bit about the backstory of like Spider-Man and Mysterio and all this. And I gotta say, the way the movie unfolds, I actually like a lot. I actually really liked how they kind of tie in a lot of Marvel history into this movie.
Yeah.
It's a really cool setup. All right, I guess we'll just go into actual weeks since we kind of covered the steroid stuff. Birthday boy, what did you do this what's going on?
I finally made it into high rank in Monster Hunter World, so I can go back to playing the game with you guys again.
Now we're gonna do that all night. Yay!
What else? Built a bunch of new decks in Magic. It turns out that I had a bunch of wild cards I was sitting on that I wasn't thinking about. And
I also built. Oh, never mind. Keep going.
Yeah, built fun new decks, and
I'll
now I'm
share my
actually
shame
winning
later.
again. All my
Nice.
old ones are just underperforming super duper hard.
There's been a lot of spice I've been watching. There's lot of stuff
cool
in
stuff.
modern and standard right now.
I started trying to a bunch of different YouTubers who just try out like jank standard builds. So the problem is I'm watching these jank builds. I'm like, I don't want to blow 20 wild cards to mimic this really shitty deck.
Dude, but watching like the new Dragon Reanimator or Simic Flash or
losing to both those decks was hilarious the first time. Now I'm just sick of it. Like, I was really confused. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Why is he dumping these giant dragons in the yard? I'm like,
can't even cast these dragons.
I'm like, there's a reanimate in standard. I forgot. Anyway.
A haste reanimator, more importantly.
It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, Magic's really fun right now, but I fucking hate the Summer 4 rotation because it means that literally anything can happen and you don't want to crap anything because rotation's coming up. But that's it for Magic. There's one more thing on the back end. I'm trying to remember what it is. Oh, reading that stupid Lite novel. Yeah, I'm like maybe a third of the way through it. I spent like an hour reading last night. The writing in the first maybe quarter of it was real shit because it's trying to describe high schoolers was really bad. But the second the guy got to describing action, he does a really good job of laying on tension. So I'm very excited to see what happens in the second half of the book because I know the anime rushed episode 1, but apparently it's like he's in this life or death scenario, and I'm curious about how it was written versus how they showed it. So I'm excited to keep reading. By the way, the name of the series is Ari Fureta, From Commonplace to World's Greatest. I didn't say the title at all this episode, so there you go.
Didn't you say that? Oh,
I just described it as the bad anime.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's it for my week.
Okay. Tyler?
Oh shit. Every time I get put on the spot, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I decided to take 2 days off this week.
Nice.
Because I don't do that. So I'm
Everything
doing
planned
that.
on those days, or is it just like a relaxed day?
Absolutely not.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna do absolutely nothing. I don't know. I might do something, but I don't know.
You're saving your day off for the Cyberpunk 2077 release, right?
I'm implying I have days off.
Freeman, when you say day, you mean week, right?
Yeah, sorry. You're saving up money so you can afford to just not show up to work for a month after that game comes out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Who needs work when I got Cyberpunk, dude?
Dude, someday I'll just be able to plug into Cyberpunk. It'll be great.
Yo. And then I'm going to Medieval Times on Saturday.
Woo.
Oh, nice. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah.
A long, long time.
See, this is why we need to make a call.
Yeah,
Yeah, got randoms hijacking the podcast, including yours truly.
Yeah, including Freeman popping in.
Yeah.
All right, I'll where the hell is it? Oop. There we go. Just to finish it off, let me add Aiden to this call since he was here.
Now we're just disappearing on what's his name.
Well, that's you. I mean, you're not wrong. Look, it's what happens when we bring Tyler, and then Tyler starts bleeding his group into our private Discord room.
Well, hey,
Muy private.
I like to think that I'm a pretty cool dude. But I see how this is.
This is what happens when I mix the groups.
Don't cross the
We
streams.
get random heads in here.
Don't cross the streams, Tyler.
To be fair, I mean, like, what's a restricted chat channel?
Well, that's what I was talking to them about. I was like, maybe we should do that.
Look, I just created a podcast channel. Okay, God, get off my back.
Access to it.
Bravo.
Yeah,
well done.
All right. Anyway, back to what I was doing. I'm going to Medieval Times. That's it. I have nothing cool going on this week.
Really?
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me? What are you talking about?
No, I don't believe you. What's going on in the life of Tyler? What's interesting? What's cool, man?
What's going on? That's it, man. I got nothing interesting.
You know, you're not shooting any guns. You're not like, you know.
Well, I might do it on the day off.
Oh, I might be going to a shotgun range with a couple coworkers.
Ooh.
Damn, without even taking.
We haven't settled on a date, but Tyler, would you be interested in coming along?
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, hell yeah.
Tyler's like,
I don't have a
shotgun.
shotgun,
I
unfortunately.
mean, they rent them to you there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think Freeman has a shotgun, Tyler?
Hey man,
you never know.
Me. Yeah,
no. I no.
I don't know, but yeah, no. I literally just decided to take 2 days off. Even though I'm working on Sunday, it looks like.
Wait, what?
What?
Isn't that to defeat the purpose of a day off?
I know.
So wait, you said you took 2 days off, and you're actually not taking 2 days off?
I am. What the? Oh no!
I don't,
all right,
I'm
sorry.
confused.
He always
to
works
clarify.
Sunday. He always works the weekends, so like he is taking 2 days off. It's just that he also has a 6 and/or 7 day work week.
Oh, okay, got it. So
mistakes
are made.
Like,
got
normally I work. Yeah, well, I'm taking off Thursday and Friday.
Cool.
And then Medieval Times. I might shoot guns. So if you want to go, like, Friday or Thursday, Aiden, or if you want to go to Freeman, shoot my guns.
Freeman got to work day at work.
Well, after work.
Oh, okay.
Potentially, I might have something Friday.
I'm down to go to the range. Let's go.
Shooting firearms. I taught someone else recently. I taught mine and Aiden's buddy's fiance last week, and she did pretty well.
Nice.
My problem is I know how to shoot just fine. I just don't know how to aim. That's my problem.
I know how to pull the trigger.
No, I know gun safety. I just don't know accuracy.
Gun accuracy.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I can also teach you that. I would say I've gotten good enough to teach people accuracy too, on top of gun safety, which, like, goddamn, like Rebecca, my friend's fiance, like tight grouping. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot this well the first time I shot. This ain't fair. She shot better than Mike. Mike's like, no, you didn't. I was like,
well,
no,
Mike also showed up to a fucking shooting range with flip flops.
She almost did, and I told her the story. I was like, your fiance had to wear the booties of shame, and she's like,
booties of
Oh,
shame.
for stopping like the hot bullets from falling down.
Yeah,
yeah, the casing.
Listen,
Yeah.
I catch like casings in my collar all the time. I'm just used to it.
Yeah,
I don't-
sometimes they get in your shirt and shit. It happens.
I told her too. I was like, if it gets caught in your cleavage, like you cannot panic.
Damn.
It's gonna I told her like it's gonna burn. You're not gonna like it, but like you just have to like tough through it. But
Oofa.
nothing like that happened though. So that's good.
Praise be.
Praise.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
Oh,
He's,
whoa.
he's in
There
Morse
we
code.
go. That was weird.
Oh, there we go.
Discord really freaked out for a second.
What? The Titanic's sinking?
Oh, my-
Oh shit. Yeah. So that's it. I got nothing. Aiden, what are you doing?
Oh, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Life's difficult. What have I been doing?
yeah.
Playing Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter's really good. I got Vampire on GOG.
Oh, yeah, we were going to talk
I've
about
been
that a
playing
little.
that. Yeah, I completely forgot about it.
Even though we talked about it yesterday.
I still forgot about it.
Yeah, Vampire's pretty decent.
I've been having a grand old time with it.
It is definitely
It's
not a
like-
perfect game. It has plenty of problems.
Oh no, it has problems, but it has the
The Euro jank.
it's an interesting game. It
It's
has
that
a lot of
weird
mechanics
European
that you
thing.
Don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Like there's a lot of social aspects to the game.
So, did you eat anyone?
I haven't. I am determined because I'm a masochist that I
get the
have to
perfect
do
ending.
it the hardest way the
So
first
here's
time.
the thing, Aiden. I too actually went for. So the only way to get the best ending is to eat no one outside of
Okay.
combat. Eating people in combat obviously doesn't matter because it's a
Yeah,
core
yeah.
move is stunning and biting. If you don't eat anyone and you keep all of the districts from falling apart, which isn't that hard. I never had trouble making enough medicine for everybody. I just couldn't be bothered to run around every motherfucker and find them. You don't even have to
Yep.
finish every social aspect. Just don't let any district fall apart, and don't eat anyone, and you'll get the best ending.
That's what I'm looking for. I want the best ending.
But honestly, combat gets a little tough late game. Only really late game if you do that. But honestly, I just blink around a lot. I upgraded whatever the stake. That's what it is. The stake that's on your Y if you're playing with a controller, where you stun them.
Yeah.
Max that shit out as soon as you can, because doing stun, bite, and just using powers all the time is great.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's been so much fun.
I will say I only had 3 powers for the entire game and I never swapped them out, and I was very happy with them. I had the ult where you put them in a frozen state where they then explode with damage, or if you kill them during that time they explode. I don't know if you got there to have an ultimate ability yet.
I have the stun. I don't have the explosion from it.
It's the one where you hold both your hands out at them. It's one ability.
Is it an ultimate?
Yeah, it's an ultimate ability.
Oh, I don't have any ultimates yet.
Okay, yeah.
I've been refusing to upgrade to an ultimate.
That's fine. The only abilities I had was the heal off blood, which is essential. It's the first one you get. And then I had there's one where you shoot spikes out of the ground, or you do an explosion AoE thing on a point.
Oh yeah.
That thing is so great for trolling the AI, because if you don't target anyone, you drop out of your own feet, and if you're running and they're following you, you just untarget, pop it, and they run right into it and they get blasted. It's fantastic. So I just powered up my ult. The ult was you hold 2 hands towards them and you shoot them with blood, and then they get frozen and they explode for damage, and if you kill them they explode for more damage, but it's great for just cheesing bosses. But I just did those 3 powers and then stat upgrades, and that carried me the entire game. I had never used guns. I just used I used guns a little bit near the end, but I mostly just used the stake and a melee weapon. I had the DLC sword. I don't know if you have it on Steam.
No, I don't have any of the DLC stuff.
There's the one
but
DLC,
I
it's
have
the
been-
Hunter's stuff.
Yeah, I don't have that. I've been mainly using the hacksaw,
Okay.
and the pre-win steak.
Yeah, you just
that's
that
pretty
steak is
yep.
great. You upgrade that all the way, and then you just have a good melee weapon, and then you maybe get one gun upgraded. Because late game, it's nice to have like a shotgun to just kind of blast them for damage up close when you don't have to actually get in melee range, because you run into really tough beasts later.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, honestly,
I'm already. I've been hit with some pretty nasty beasts. I feel really underleveled at this point, but I haven't had difficulty killing anything. It's
No.
just I'm beating things that are like 10 levels over me.
you spend
so-
like most of the game with red numbers on the levels.
yeah.
That's exactly
So,
what
I
happened to
mean,
me. And I kind of got through no real problem. So
Okay, cool. So like this is normal. I expect this.
no,
Also, if I beat Sekiro and Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, I think I'll
So the funny thing is, those games probably have definitely have better combat than Vampire, though. Vampire's combat is like pretty floaty.
Yeah, it is. I've noticed the hitboxes are kind of
Oh
loose.
yeah.
Like,
Also,
I've
some
dodged
bosses in
enemies.
late game are absolute fucking assholes.
Yo,
Oh, great.
do you guys
I
want
haven't
to play
hit a boss
Monster
yet.
Hunter at all?
Yes.
We should wrap up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
you've been going for a while. about
Sorry.
Vampire.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I got one more thing I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Just one more. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Heard a lot about this.
It's everything that I wanted from a Castlevania game on PC.
Perfect.
It's Symphony of the Night, except on PC.
Maybe I'll get it eventually because that looks interesting. It seems like a fun idea.
It's really good because so imagine Symphony of the Night, except with all of the technological advances of every Castlevania.
I was gonna say a lot of modern sensibilities.
Yeah, it definitely takes a very modern approach to the Castlevania. This I put on par with Hollow Knight.
Oh wow.
I had an immense time with Hollow Knight, and I'm having a great time with Bloodstained. And
Cool.
if you haven't played either of those games, I highly recommend that you do.
Pretty sure
And
the last
one last
Metroidvania game I played was Shadow Complex. So.
Oh god. One last thing. If any of you have HBO, I highly recommend the Chernobyl miniseries.
Oh yeah, you're saying
Everyone's
I
telling me to
finished-
watch this.
I finished the last episode yesterday, and it's a phenomenal show.
I wonder if one of my
You
Plex
should
guys
certainly
got it. I
you should
check.
certainly take your time and watch it if you can afford to do so.
Sweet.
And yeah, that's it for me.
I excuse me. I don't have much else going on. Like I said, I've been playing a bunch of Monster Hunter 2. Got the 5th region, been plugging away. Aiden helped me kill Nergigante for the very first time last night. That was a big accomplishment.
Hell yeah, Nergigante.
First of many annoying Elder Dragons. Woohoo.
Absolutely.
God, he's such a bitch. Other than that, not much. Me and Val are between shows because we kind of binged over all weekend. We just crushed our way through Demon Slayer and Stranger Things, so we've just been doing some Office rewatch. That's our purge, where we just rewatch The Office for a few nights, 1 or 2 episodes, and then get back into something new. I will say, Aiden, did you ever listen to the song I sent you today?
I saw it. I didn't get a chance to listen
That's
to it.
fine. So Freeman, you know what I'm talking about because I messaged you and Luigi about it yesterday. So randomly at work on Monday, or yesterday, for me it's yesterday, the opening song to Promise Neverland popped up on a YouTube mix for me, and I kind of love this song, weirdly.
Because Overworld is a great band regardless of the anime they're featured in.
Dude, it's a really weird song. Starting off with saxophone for 20 seconds is a weird flex in anime openings. I don't know if I've ever heard
they've
of
been doing
sax.
that for a couple albums now. They always have sax in weird places.
I kind of love the song, and I know that you already had told Val that we should watch this show. So that might be the next anime we get started on, Promise Neverland.
Oh boy, it's a sweaty show.
I'm sure. I mean, I saw some comments about like, hey, there's a lot of fire in this mention of this opening, and there's a reason for it.
Yeah, I think Luigi caught up in like a night.
Wow. I don't think
Yeah,
we'll do it quite that fast, cause speaking of Luigi, we are starting Luigi's D&D game tomorrow. Me, Freeman, and Val are going to be running through World of Warcraft, and Luigi's running a WoW D&D
I need
game.
to actually set up the rest of my character.
I have mine set up. I have a fun. I'm basically, my character is going to be a monk who take the guy who was as horrible as it sounds, the Chinese kid who was basically forced from like 3 to be a gymnast. And then grew up, and as soon as they couldn't compete anymore, they became a coach, and then they died at the age of 40 and awoken, or are brought back to life, monk instead of gymnast in this case. But my guy is going to realize how much life he missed out on, and I'm going to start lawful neutral and go to lawful evil eventually. That's kind of my arc for my character I have in mind. As he kind of goes, well, fuck everything, because I want to live life, and I don't care who stops me, so. And then we have my D&D. Oh, no, we're skipping my D&D on Thursday, because Tyler is busy. And then, Freeman, I told Tyler this yesterday, it's looking like I might come home for this weekend.
Wait, this weekend?
Yep. Not the main visit. Not the main visit. That's in August still. But my brother and
but I think I have dinner with my family on Saturday. But other than that, I should be free.
that's fine. We might do something like Saturday day or Sunday morning. We could do magic before I leave.
I'm running a 5K on Saturday morning, my very first one. I forgot to talk about this.
Then Sunday morning, I guess we're gonna play magic at my house with Luigi. Because as we do. But yeah, my brother and his fiance are going to be in town, and my sister's still in town for school, and I think my sister might be leaving by the time, or my brother might not be in town by the time we have now finally finalized our visit home in August. So, Val suggested I go home for this weekend. 'Cause it's also Family Day, Freeman, since you probably know what that is. It's the Radburn
I'm not
thing?
part of the Radburn
Yeah, but it's in the park. Don't you hear it?
I'm far enough away that I can easily ignore it from my room.
Whatever. There's an event in Radburn this weekend, and I'm gonna go home for that too. Other than that, not much else. Kind of still gave up on Pokemon. Been slowly trying to start reading a book again. Freeman, I told these guys I have my first ever Dragonite in a Pokemon game. I finally grinded up Dragonair, and now I'm like,
I see you're a Pokemon trainer of culture as well.
And now I'm like, but I still don't have the moves I want to deal with the Elite Four. But I also need to beat the Elite Four to get like half the moves I want on my Pokemon. This is a dilemma.
I mean, if you already have a Dragonite, it should be strong enough just to fucking blow Lance away.
But I have no good moves on anything. Like, everything I want is a TM that it's like, get after beating the Elite Four in Kanto. Haha.
You just gotta do it then.
I want Thunderbolt. I don't want fucking Thunder. God damn it. Thunder sucks, and that's all Goldenrod has.
Wait, hold on. You can get Thunderbolt before Elite Four. You just do that fucking minigame in Goldenrod.
Oh my god, I hate that shit. Anyway.
The Voltorb flip.
Oh, fuck.
It's
anyway.
like Sudoku on crack, where you have to use an online calculator to tell you your odds of winning on each square. Yes, I did it. Yes, it took me 5 hours. Yes,
holy shit.
You just gotta find a good show to watch in the background.
Oh my fuck. Anyway, that's about it. We're going to end this here so we can go play some Monster Hunter before Freeman's got to go to bed and Tyler leaves us. But thanks so much for listening, everybody. This has been a very, very abbreviated podcast. Half weeks.
Pretty much.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Until next time, my name is Timpedia.
Guest host Friedman.
Main host, just Tyler.
Secret Ninja Aiden.
And we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening.